So welcome back. Okay, here she all is. The SV51 Nora, all glued together, ready for some paint. So what I'm going to do now is hit it with primer and let it sit for a couple of days, then start painting up. Aside from the main colour, there's actually a lot of darker colours and metallic colours to paint on, so I'll be hitting them up first and doing the main colour last. Okay, some flaws I found in it. The wing root here, you can just bake it out. Another one this side, and at the back you can just see those little whites there. They're gaps when I join the wings to the fuselage, and down here as well. Those all needed some plastic shims. I think it's 5 thou or 10 thou plastic card glued in and just sanded back to fill the join line. And then I just flooded it with to me a thin cement just to even things out a bit. To me a thin cement's been very good as a filler, just so that you don't have a huge cavity there. There's some fit problems in other areas, like this part here is your one of your gun nacelles. There's actually a bit of a join problem there, and I'm hoping the primer will fix that up when it goes on. Okay. Excuse me. A few nasties I've had is this little probe here broke off and disappeared somewhere. I don't know where, I don't know when, so I just had to stretch some more sprue and to fill that in. And word of warning, if you're going to do what I did, which is to reposition the rudders, do so after you're stuck on the vertical stabilizers, then reposition those rudders, because this rudder here is joining onto or hitting the back part of the fuselage there, and the joint isn't really kosher when you look at it from certain angles compared to the other side. Some of my earlier joins, I showed you that I actually put a plug in behind these parts here just to expand the fuselage up a bit so that it wouldn't fall in or collapse on me. That's gone quite well. I've just had to cut a few notches into the slotted pieces that go into the slots that are there. Overall, everything's okay. I've masked up the inlets here, masked up the vertical thrusters. I think that's vertical thrusters, considering that there's vents here and that's all like fans there. So overall, everything appears to be ready to rock and roll. These little things here I've just put on at the last minute, just before I masked everything up and glued everything as well. They went on quite easy. You just follow the instructions and it's the same part duplicated on the other side. So that one's probably, I think, 14 and the other side's 14. That one's 13, that one's 13. So it all overall went together quite well. Very easy to do. No alignment problems because the slots are almost like a guide to install them. There are, looking at the bottom, you'll see here there's a nice big gap in the joins there. I'm leaving that is because they're supposed to be legs and they're supposed to fold out when it transforms. So yeah, so now I'll just go hit that with some primer and I'll show you what the primer looks like, see if I can pick up any flaws, and yeah, see you shortly. Okay, just finished painting up or priming up the model. This now pleases my sense of what colour an aircraft should be. Should be anything other than pink, purple, or any of those fancy colours. Unfortunately though, it's not going to last much longer. Got to put a pinkish purple finish back on it, so Oh, I'm going to have to tolerate this for a bit longer. Okay. Overall, everything appears to be going okay. Got a bit of fluff in certain areas. The sandpaper will probably help sand out other areas. So I think I'll just hit it with maybe 600, maybe 1000 grit sandpaper. Just polish out a few areas. But overall, this looks pretty good. Oops, just found a few mistakes rough around my nose where I did all this work up here with the plastic card. Obviously I was a bit clumsy with the glue when I was gluing them on. They were a bit difficult, they wouldn't conform properly, even though they were like 5 or 10 thou plastic card, wouldn't conform to the curve. So I've got a few lumps and bumps all over the place which I've got to sand out. So yeah. Okay, this model, as I was handling it while I was putting it together earlier, she's got some weight in her, and most of the weight, where's the weight? The weight's mostly in the back section here. When you think about it, this is all separate plastic parts. If this is a normal aircraft kit, you probably have about 2 or 3 parts to make up this back section, but there's like 50 odd parts there, so that's a lot of plastic. That's a lot of weight in there. Definitely one thing this is not is a tail sitter, which is interesting. Just put my fingers where the undercarriage is going to be, and as you can see, she sits on the nose, which where the other landing gear will be up the nose, so it's going to be quite good. I don't have to put any weight anywhere, thank God. Okay, size wise, now this is supposed to be a 72nd scale fighter. Okay, on my other build we've got the Pipistrello. I hate that name, Pipistrello. 72nd kit as well. Okay, if you can see width-wise, it's not as wide width-wise, but if you look at length-wise, this thing is huge, and this is a single-man fighter. So in comparison, the Yama Nora is a lot bigger scale-wise than any other thing in its relative category. I'd say it's actually bigger than a F111 kit, or if not very close to the same size as F111. So if you've got the Hasegawa 72nd scale F111, I reckon it's going to come in about the same size. Oh yeah, about the same size actually. I'll change my mind there. Call it the same size. So still, all in all, single man fighter, it's freaking huge. When you think about a single man fighter like an F-18, an F-18 is not as big as this thing is. So yeah, it's going to be a huge fighter. Alright, so I'm just going to hit that up, and once I've polished out all those bumps and lumps that I just talked about, I'm going to have to paint a few areas